Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. You're listening to a late show. We're a late show for a reason. Apologies to people that we advertised 9:30. Apologise due to unforeseen circumstances. We'll go into that later. Inshallah, sorry to keep you waiting, but without any further ado, we are here. We are the late show. I'll introduce myself as Sajid, and I've got my co-host with me, Brother Babar Ali. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Alaikum salam, and assalamu alaikum to all the listeners out there. Thank you for waiting very patiently. Alhamdulillah, the special guest that has arrived. Unfortunately, got caught up with some business. He's a busy man, as we all know. But mashallah, he's here. For all of those who are listening, you will know Brother Khalid very well. He's got a cult following, I would say, a massive cult following. Mashallah, done very well for himself. We want to talk about so many things. I've been getting people texting me all day, saying, ask him this, ask him this, ask him that. So we're going to go through all that, and we're going to get to know the man better, inshallah. So without any more delay, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, and very happy to be here, and apologise for being a little late to all the viewers, sorry. But inshallah, hopefully you have a good show.
Yeah, inshallah, you'll be good. For those of you listening, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. The telephone numbers we'll give out shortly, and the text number as well. So, if you want to get involved with the show, you're more than welcome to. You can catch us on Ustream as well. You can watch us live. I'm sure the links are all up there. We'll be giving those out shortly too. Just want to get, to it now really, without any more delay. Firstly, I just want to congratulate Khalid for, receiving the welterweight UCMMA title recently. He received it via default, which is just one of them things. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now it's all sunk in?
Basically, I won it by forfeit. I think default was a bit of a...
Sorry, the wrong word.
Wrong word. I didn't mean by that, I just didn't turn up. But it was a strange 14-week camp. I had 6 opponents pull out during the course of training. Also, on the day of the weigh-in, the opponent was supposed to fight, didn't turn up. I was told he might turn up to the fight. He didn't end up turning up for the fight. So it's not the way I wanted to have the title, but alhamdulillah, I've got it. So, and this is how it is, and it was written for me to have it. So I've taken it on board, and we'll see inshallah what happens from there.
Yeah, I mean, it must be very frustrating for someone like you, someone who's very dedicated at what he does. And it must be extremely frustrating because you want to go out there and you want to prove yourself, and you don't want to win your titles that way. How do you deal with that? I mean, you train so hard, and then, guys, they just don't want to know.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most frustrating things, probably in the UK MMA scene. You have guys who drop out. They fight on shows before the main event as well. So like now, I found out a couple of guys had got injured because they were fighting other shows. And obviously we spend a lot of money, time. You're spending 6 to 8 hours every day, 6 days a week training. And again, most sports people do this. And obviously, if you are fighting professional or any sport you do professionally, this is what happens. You spend time doing it. It gets frustrating, but again, I enjoy the whole process. So it's not just a fight, I enjoy the whole process of 3 months dedicating myself to something. Or it was actually 365 to be honest. Even on Eid and all other days, man, we're strength training. After Eid Salah, we go to the gym and punch each other up a little bit and then go home and eat.
I mean, mashallah, we've got to give you credit for that. From the little bit of research I've done, with the little I know you, I can see you extremely dedicated. I don't know how you do it. It's just you're a businessman. You've got your own team of fighters that you train as well. Not only that, you train yourself, and you're not training yourself just for your body to look good. You actually want to be at the highest level. How do you keep that up?
I think that's a quality that I've had since I was a youngster. I wasn't always the most talented fighter. I wasn't always most talented in even studying, to be honest. And I just found that working hard at stuff, and this came through. To be honest, again, not embarrassing, but my brother. I remember when we was younger, I used to come home and I was just seeing reading books. and he became a solicitor, and through that I took it on board myself. Like through him, it was my inspiration as well. I took on the hard work ethic, where basically anything you want to achieve, there has to be time spent. And then one day, even like, for example, you guys know about jiu-jitsu and stuff, it's an art you watch and you never understand. It's like, what's going on, and you spend time doing it, and then one day it just snaps, and you think, I understand, okay, yeah, I get it. But until you spend time doing it, and this is what I think in life, a lot of people don't give enough dedication or time to certain things until they get that skill, until it opens up to them, and they realise, okay, this is what it's for, and that's how you acquire it.
To the listeners out there, this is your 95.6 FM, 101 FM, Reading. We have brother Khalid Ismail in the studio. Well, he's been demanded by the people in Reading, to be honest. I mean, I don't know why the word there is. So, it's a pleasure for the late team, and well, it's an honour for myself to have such a talented brother sitting next to me and giving us his story. But my question to you is, for listeners out there, they don't know what UCMMA is. Can you give us a bit of background on that, please?
UCMMA was formerly known as Cage Rage. People might know it as Cage Rage. It was the UK premier cage fighting or MMA mixed martial arts organisation. It changed. I mean, you had the likes of Anderson Silva fighting on Cage Rage about a few years back, 10 years ago. I think he was fighting. Anderson Silva was the UFC middleweight champion. So you had high caliber fighters on it. It switched names to UCMMA. It is probably one of the leading organisations in the country. So yeah.
Is it world renowned? Is it, or just a newly formed organisation?
Cage Rage, the old Cage Rage was well known. They had a split. UCMMA came out of it, but it's probably one of the premier organisations in the country.
Wow. Okay.
So just going back to the. You recently injured yourself. I think that you were due to have a fight.
I was due to have a fight. I don't want to say anything just yet about the issues of why I'm not fighting. I know something was posted up about me being injured, but I will disclose something on later on this week. Or
confirm it.
Yeah,
okay.
Inshallah.
Right, okay.
We'll let you know.
Obviously now, the thing is, you built such a cult following for yourself, all over the internet, you just see Khalid everywhere, and people actually love you, and the thing is, you've only had three fights in the UCMMA, so, and you're finding it very difficult to get opponents for whatever reason, what can you do? What can we expect from you, from that? You can't do nothing about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, I think for me, well, firstly, thank you to everyone who's supporting me, mashallah. It's a great feeling coming out when you got 400 or 500 people screaming, and it's and even like the messages, people who don't come, and the messages I get from them,
the good luck messages.
Yeah, man, it's like you can't. And I never started fighting because you wanted admiration, but when you get it, it's
a motivation.
It's a bonus to it. But the fighting side, man, we'll find people to fight, and if it's not going to be here, it'll be overseas. Yeah, so I mean, we're looking at America and other countries to go over. I still believe we've got great UK talent, and we've got a lot to show. So, inshallah, we'll get a chance.
You want to conquer this battlefield first before you can move on to elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, if the fight's not here, and obviously if you're training 3-4 months and you're not getting the fights here, then we'll have to move and try and get the fights elsewhere. I think the main thing is people want to see me fight. I'm getting older, so I need to fight, and I believe that I've got the talent I've got the right work ethic, inshallah, to go to the next stage, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, to the listeners out there, if you want to talk to the brother live in the studio, the number to call is 01189 660382. I'll repeat that, 01189 660382. If you want to text in with any questions you would like to ask the brother, 07909 567 527. Let me repeat that. Text in is 07909 567 527. 27. One question I got in from a text earlier: what inspired you? I mean, what inspired you from, what's made you go into this field? You look very fit and healthy, and you could go into wherever you wanted. What's the passion in fighting?
I ask that every day I wake up. To be honest, my mum asked me that as well. How do you do this? It's something that's been in me since I was little. I was a child that was very hard to control. I found I was aggressive. I remember my mum told me stories. She goes, you used to get angry, then you lock yourself in the bathroom, and then you'd hear a thud for about half an hour. Come out, and she goes, you have a massive red mark on my head. So I used to headbutt the wall for about half an hour. So now I punch bags instead. So I'm channeling it a different way. I think it's just from a young age, and you end up channeling yourself. And it was, to be honest, my mum is the one who took me to martial arts. I suffer from asthma, and my mum went to the doctors and said, he said, take him into sports, and then from there she said, let him do every sport. So I've done everything.
So much energy.
Yeah, but it was again, I think, with parents, when parents get involved as well, like without her effort to expose me to certain things, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So alhamdulillah, like how things are written for you. When you look back, I got ill, and from that illness, it made me do what I'm doing today. So and everything's written, and
that's a blessing. So I mean, you own 2 gyms. You train your own fighters. You've got your own stable of fighters that you train, and then you train yourself. How do you find that balance doing that? I mean, apart from having all that energy that you have, how do you do that? How do you get through your days?
Organisation. I mean, what I do is I train early. I train very early. So the team will train early.
What time are you looking at?
6, 7 o'clock, and that's the first thing that we do. Nothing to do with the business. That's the first concern. We get our training out of the way. As soon as I finish, then it's the work business aspect. Come back in the evening for another session, 6 o'clock. And because you're in the gym around all the time, so you get to see what's going on with the members and with memberships and all that stuff. So the kind of business goes together. And I've always been, I love being in the gym. So I love talking to the members. I love what I do, to be honest. So alhamdulillah.
What's your team consist of? You say a team. What's the team?
The team is, I have a guy, Emrah Somez, he's fighting on November the 30th. So I've been training him since he was 11 years old. So we've had like kids who've grown up in our stables, and now they.
Don't forget that he's only 33 himself.
Yeah.
So if he's trained the younger kids, so you must have been what, 20?
Yeah, I started. I remember I actually told a story to a guy yesterday. I was teaching 35-year-olds when I was 20. And obviously when you have 35-year-olds come into your class, they're looking at you, oh, this little kid teaching me, how can he teach me? So the first thing I used to do with them was spar them, and then beat them up a little bit, and then after that, then they're a bit after that. Then, sometimes in fighting, sometimes you have to earn the respect of people, and that's one of the things. As a youngster, I always found that I had to prove myself, especially in the fight game, and you're teaching elders, you have to prove yourself a little bit.
And the respect in a way.
Yeah, I mean that you know what you're talking about. I might be young in age, but because I started martial arts when I was 5, so I had a long time.
That's my next question. Yeah. There, what age are you at? 5?
5 years old. Yeah.
See, so this is a shout out to people listening out there. People that want to play football and that. You've got to start whatever discipline you go into. That's what they're looking at from 5 to 10. If you really want to take it to a level. We're sitting here, we're talking to a champion as such, with the mindset of a champion, and there's no negativity again coming off the brother. I mean, he's teaching people 15 years older than himself.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, Reading's crying out for someone like yourself.
I think
really is.
I think the main thing that people should realise is that it doesn't matter what age you are, as long as you're willing to do the work. Mm-hmm. They always say in jiu-jitsu it takes about 10 years to get a black belt. That's longer than most guys have to study to become a doctor. So, but there's people who've got it within 5 years. Now, why have they got it within 5 years? Is because they spent time, every living minute of their day. They're doing some sort of jiu-jitsu and they're practicing and they're training, and this is how you speed up the process. But a lot of people think going to one class or two classes is going to make you a champion. No. There's a guy in my camp. He's got phenomenal kicks, and people always ask, what does he do? I said he kicks every day, 2,500 kicks every single day. That's why his kicks are good. And this is what people don't realise. Oh yeah, how can he don't do 2,500 kicks? I'm telling you, he does 2,500 kicks a day. I've got a guy in my camp.
2.5 hours.
2,500 kicks. it's hard to comprehend, but it's basically systematic training. So if you think about every time he wants to open the door with his foot, he wants to touch the light with his foot. So everything it's kicking. So he's practicing working. And that's how you become good with your. It's like using your hands. Your hands are good to pick up stuff because you've trained to be that way. If you want your legs to react the same, you need to.
I think Van Damme done a similar thing growing up. I mean, he used to actually write his name with his foot.
Yeah.
In a kicking
stance. Yeah, he would chamber his leg and I mean, all the great fighters. All the great people. If you look at one attribute that they all had was they all worked hard at what they done. Yeah. Simple. And to be honest, I don't think there's anyone. And this is. I always say this to the guys I train when we go give youth talks and stuff. There's not one person I've met that hasn't got the ability to do something. It's basically something in their life has stopped them, or a mental barrier and then once you break that barrier, they're able to do it.
Definitely. One of the reasons why we love having individuals like yourself on this show is because we're all about the youth, we're all about inspiring the community and people. So, when we get individuals like yourself who've got so much energy and channeling their energy to a positive way, I think when the kids listen to this, it must give them a boost, because I'll go back to my childhood and think, if only I had someone telling me that sort of stuff,
I mean, this is the thing. I mean, when we were younger, unfortunately we didn't have. I think we didn't have social media and as much exposure to fighters that were able to come to us, or any inspirational people, to be honest. So you have to find your own way. With the youngsters now, because it's so available. If you look at Floyd Mayweather, the guy, as flashy as he is, but you got to look at it. He plays the game because obviously he's promoting shows. But if you look at the underlay of what he promotes, it's hard work and dedication, and you hear that all the time. Hard work, dedication. There was a HBO episode I watched. They were doing a party or something. Halfway through the party, he said, "I'm going for my run." Now he's done this party, and he just walked out and started going for his run. Now.
He's actually known for doing stuff like that.
Yeah. So now to have that type of mentality, 48 fights on, or 42 fights on, or 43 fights on, to still want to do that
after all that
money, to have that success and being known as the pound greatest fighter, and he's still able to do that. That's what you got to have, and he understands that, and that's why with talent and hard work, that's why he becomes a great. Simple.
And this is the sort of ethic that you have. Tell the listeners a typical day of training for you, so we can get an insight of how you start your day,
or how you train your team on someone that.
No, him. I wouldn't know about him.
I'm the type of guy that is. I'm the type of guy that whatever my team will do, whatever I put my team through, I'm doing it with them. So I'm not. I'm not that type of trainer. I've never been that type of trainer, because I've trained with other guys who've. Made me do like 1,000 sprints, and you're thinking
you don't do that.
You don't do that though. And then, have you ever done 1,000 sprints? And he's like, no. So why are you making me do it? So I'm a guy that
lead by example, basically.
Yeah, I try to lead by example. They call me the general in the team. You might have tried to know. The Reading general is listening. I know he's listening to the brother's country.
So the guy who showed.
Yeah, not stepping on any toes. But
that's the general's text there you're looking at there at the moment. So he wants to meet you. I do Charlotte, bro. If you're listening, if the brother's got time and you've got time, we can introduce yourselves to him. Him to him and vice versa or whatever.
There we go.
So we can have a little 1-to-1 somewhere outside in Reading.
We've just discussed work ethic. You follow a philosophy of Bushido, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Explain what that is, please.
I'm sorry,
bro. I'm sorry. I'm just overwhelmed here.
For the listeners, for myself and everyone else here, explain to us what Bushido is and what it means to you.
I came across Bushido when I started martial arts, but then I realised a lot of what Bushido teaches is a lot of Islamic teaching as well. It's very similar. The characteristics of someone who practices Bushido would be you're honourable, you don't have an ego, you respect others, you're loyal. There's seven virtues of Bushido: respect, honour, loyalty, benevolence. I can't remember the other two top of my head. But basically, those characteristics is of a warrior.
Code of conduct.
Code of conduct. Now, what I really liked about it was, and how I try to conduct myself as well, is most people meet me and they say exactly what you said to me today. Actually, you're not as big as what I thought you was, or you don't look like a fighter.
You look like a fighter. you know good battle.
But I've had that loads of times before, and to be honest, we have another Bushido saying is civilize the mind and savage the body.
Wow.
So basically, the way you act, you can sit with people, you can conduct yourself in a manner of like you wouldn't think that the guy is a fighter, he can speak to you, but when it comes down to fighting, then the warrior side comes out. And this is what we try to teach all our students. This is what we teach through martial arts. We will teach the kids as well. Don't be a bully. Don't behave a certain way on the street. Just another thing is, again we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you strength, gives you some sort of ability, some sort of skill. Now don't abuse it. Now if I know I can fight, I'm not going to go on the street and start just picking on a guy. That's not the reasons, and that's not why he's given me this skill. And then obviously we try to do good with it. So obviously now if it is to inspire people, if it is to train, if it's to teach goodness of this art. So there's loads of stuff within. That's why I've taken out of the Bushido code and used it in my life.
And you also teach it to your students as
well? Yeah, I mean the guys. I mean, if we get a bully in the class, he gets dealt very quickly. He'll do the rounds with all the guys, and all of a sudden after that, because what happens? A bully will only bully people that he knows he can beat. Now, when a bully meets the immovable object, and then he'll stand there and he'll think, oh, this guy's not moving, and all of a sudden his mentality changes. And then slowly you but the thing is, it's not to beat him up, it's to re-educate him. It's to re-educate, okay, you've got this skill.
Opening his mind.
Yeah, so you've got this skill and you don't behave in this manner because you're always going to meet a guy that's got a bigger hand than you have. So,
as the old saying goes, there's always someone better than you.
It's true, and like you can see great champions. My thing I always make my fighters always watch. I said, look, God has given you talent, but it's only for a certain period of time.
Correct.
Now, I said, look, the greatest fighter in the world, Muhammad Ali, who had all the talk, all the things, now he can't talk, he can't sit, he just sits in the chair. I said, when you see this, I go, now as a young fighter, you should realise that this is going to happen to you. So enjoy the ride, enjoy the wave, but appreciate everything that you get at the same time.
Enjoy and respect it.
I think this is one of the reasons why so many people out there are really, falling in love with you. Is because you're so understated. Understated, like
very humble, mashallah, very down to earth.
Cool guy, very down to earth, and you don't go around your own hype base. You don't believe your own hype, basically.
And to be honest, tearing my tendon off my arm was another humbling experience. If the guys listening, I remember I was wrestling just before the fight, and we had the guys around me. Oh, mashallah, yeah, you look strong and you're ready. And all you hear is ping. And then and what was funny, just the tendon came off. So it wasn't like a major thing. Just the bicep tendon came off. I went to see the doctor, and he said to me, I said, look, I still want to fight, and I can fight. This guy's, the doctor was 6-year-old by the way, and he said to me, yeah, you want to fight? He goes, shake my hand. So I shook his hand, and then he just pushed it, and he goes, you push against me. So I pushed against him, and he pushed back the other way, and I couldn't do nothing. So he said, I don't think you can fight. And that was the realisation. And then from there I thought, wow, look, I was at my strongest. If you think about it, in physical peak, I was just ready to get ready to fight. So I was on that physical peak, and my tendon tore. So I said, then you realise that, okay, wait a minute, you can get hurt. These things can happen to you. So Yeah.
So, I mean, coming to that now, we talk about the philosophies and stuff. We'll start reading through some text messages, etc. shortly. I just want to ask this one question before we get to that. What role does Islam play in your life?
Like I said, it's a major role. I mean, my upbringing was very Islamic, alhamdulillah.
How many siblings in your house?
I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. And the ethic, like I said, the ethics of Bushido suited my lifestyle very, very, very well. It gelled very well. Like I said, I think everything you do comes back to you. The way you behave with people, the way you act with people. I'm very big on if we was to talk about Bushido, I'll talk about the Islamic side, the akhlaq of people, how your characteristics are, how you are as a person is very, very important to me. So guys will come and want to train in my camp or train with us, and then they don't have the right characteristics, and then what happens is I advise them to come to the classes, and then from there we try to teach them about just teach them how to behave certain things, and then to be honest, subconsciously you don't realise this, but this is from your Islamic teaching or your Islamic upbringing, and this is so basically I will never run away from it. I am Muslim, and alhamdulillah I'm proud to be Muslim, and this is another thing through fighting. Inshallah we can show the goodness of Islam, because I know we've been getting a bad rap at the moment, but we can get people to see, like, you know, the positive sides of it, and then. Man, it's good because we have such a mix in our classes as well. So we have all ethnic backgrounds, all religions, and you see the appreciation of each other and everything. And we get on, man. We're like one family, so good.
Sorry, I think me and Soggy need to come to your gym one day. Do like a session or something, you know, a video or something. Soggy's been talking about getting into shape for the last 15 years. So.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
I want to ask some questions, but this is a personal one. I mean, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just happy just to be here. You know, it really is.
Soggy's not a person who be happy.
I don't, honestly, I don't. I'm just, you know, I feel as though I'm sitting next to someone special. You know, and that don't really happen every day. So subhanAllah, I don't want to put nothing on the brother. So mashallah, yes, I'm privileged to be here. Just to be sitting in the presence. But going to questions, I hate when you do that. Okay, one question from brother Zafran is, sound great for listening. I know it's a bit late, you might go to bed. But inshallah the show will be on repeat tomorrow afternoon.
There's no new stream, it will be recorded, so you can catch the repeats.
There'll be repeats inshallah, yeah. What does Khalid think of, well, he gives Islam first. Assalamu alaikum Khalid, how are you? Hope you're well, alhamdulillah. What does Khalid think about Bellator FC, new fighting organisation? Bellator FC, new fighting organisation in USA, and is he planning to go there? Because the majority of the fighters apparently are.
But I mean,
Bellator,
yeah, it's a good organisation. A lot of the ones in America, they're organised well. I was recently at UFC 162. I was cornering Roger Gracie. It's just MMA hasn't picked up as much as we wanted it to here, and for some reason I think MMA or even sport in general, people in America have more care to it, and they invest more money into it. So you have a better caliber of fighters there as well. Here we have pockets of good fighters, and you can easily go unnoticed. And that's the problem, and you can try, but then there comes a point in your life where you're thinking, oh wait a minute, I've been doing this for 10, 15 years, haven't earned any money from this, so then a lot of guys stop.
Yeah.
And again with Bellator and UFC, I know a lot of guys, mashallah, keep saying to me, when you fight in UFC or Bellator, basically the way it works is UFC and Bellator, they call you and you don't call them. So they scout and they make sure. But again, inshallah, if people are supporting and letting us know and letting them know that there's good fighters here, then the main thing is just being noticed that they can see us and that we're doing something here.
Like you said, you know, it's here in the UK, you know, I don't think MMA gets that much exposure. I mean, you still get the boxing on the basic TV channel still, you know, but you don't really see much of the MMA. And like you said, you know, you can go on 10 years, 15 years, you think, hold on a minute, I've still got a full-time job and I'm still doing this.
Yeah,
I really want to.
A lot of guys are working full time, training twice a day as well, doing the same thing, and it's difficult because a point will come when they have to stop.
Yeah.
Like how long can you go earning peanuts and train and forking out a lot of money for training as well? So
oh yeah, definitely.
especially on a professional level, and to get hurt for that amount of money, it's not worth it. Some of them their family will tell them not to do it. Hopefully this is what I mean. That's why I'm quite active with the youth, and I don't mind doing shows like this, and because I want sport in general. It doesn't have to be mixed martial arts. It doesn't have to be any particular sport. But we need to help sportsmen or youngsters get into sport, and we need to.
It's all discipline, basically, in anything.
Yeah, I mean, to support them, like sponsorships, like and because in America you have 20,000 people watching a college game. When you get like 2 people.
You know, in America, you get a ridiculous amount of people coming to watch just a college football game, American football game, and people actually bet on these games. You can go to the casino and bet on these games, and these are just university games.
Yeah, but this is the thing. This is what, because they know that these guys are going to be the next generation of athletes, and they invest a large amount of money. Large investment in sport development as well. So you have the best. Like now, I'll tell you what happens to the UK fighters. A lot of UK fighters jump ship from the UK and go to America, and they become you won't hear about them because they've been swallowed up by USA. The problem is that why are they going to the USA in the first place? They're going there because they're supposed to have the best strength and conditioning coaches there. They're going there because they're supposed to have the best stand-up coaches. Remember, I say supposedly. Okay. Supposedly having the best stand-up coaches there, jiu-jitsu and everything else. And purely because as soon as they go there, they get looked after, they get money, and obviously they'll say, oh yeah, this is the best place to be. Because why? You get the whole package. Here, you have to go and look for a strength and conditioning coach. You have to go and look for a good coach, boxing coach, kickboxing coach.
And look for sponsors.
Now, someone has to fund you to go and to train, to go and do this. And it's very difficult. So,
is this where, mashallah, you've got quite a sensible head, you obviously got a degree. You've got a degree in.
That's right. Property development.
There you go. You've got a degree in property. So mashallah, you've got a degree in property and development, and he owns 2 gyms. So looking at it, you should be okay in that sense, and you can cover certain things where other fighters might fall short on.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I mean, I didn't start in MMA. I started in kickboxing. So I was a British champion in kickboxing from '98 to 2001, and I won a title in 2005.
I should have actually discussed that before.
Yeah, 2005, 2007. I won the title then as well. But what I realised was it's short-lived. If you get hurt, if you can't afford it, your fighting career stops literally there and then. So I kind of done things backwards, where most pro fighters open a gym at the end of the career. I ended up opening it first. And I thought, you know what, let me have something secure. And once I did that, then I pursued my MMA career, and at the same time I was able to fund my training and stuff.
I've got texts in here regarding your gym. They want to know what's the gym called, what's admission free, what kind of charges, and what kind of membership, etc. And when you obviously come into Reading.
What's going to happen is you're going to get people from our town who love you. They're going to be coming to your gym. They want to come here and train. Yeah, that's what happened.
The gym's LDG Fitness Centre. I've got one in Chadwell Heath.
What's abbreviated? What's LDG?
Lions Den Gym. Lions Den Gym.
That's what I want to hear.
And I've got another one in Romford. The main one I train out of is in Chadwell Heath.
Where's that in geography? Of
do you know where Ilford,
East London?
Yeah. So a lot of people know where Ilford is, so it's quite close to there.
Oh, okay. How many gyms? 2? 3?
Two gyms. We are looking to expand, so we might be coming. What I might start changing the concept. Yeah, we might be coming to Reading.
No might.
Yeah.
we don't want to hear might. We want to be
there's plenty of unemployed people in Reading. So.
Reading's got its, like every other town, got its basic gyms, but it hasn't got anything for our community as such.
That vision that you have of a gym, this town doesn't have.
Right.
You know, it would love to have something like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe
with the right person in charge. You know.
I mean, this is the plan for us anyway. LDG we want to come to every town. We want to come north, south, east, west, and we want
come south first. Then
yeah. I mean, we want to.
We're not worried about the northerners.
We want to come over. We want to put this type of ethos, this type of gym in areas where people. I mean, for me, basically, if we leave a legacy of what we've been doing, and youngsters can take it on from there. Alhamdulillah, man. We've done our bit.
We've done your bit. Yeah.
That's it, man. That's what we need to do.
We're going to get to a bit of a controversial question, and this is not a dig at you.
Yeah.
You know.
You wouldn't want to dig at him.
I wouldn't want to dig at you.
Well, let me get out of the way first.
It's just a question of PEDs in fighting sports now. I mean, they're getting big in boxing. You know, a lot of people say, you know, they get used regularly in MMA and people aren't being tested properly. Where do you stand in all this? Or what's your opinion? Sorry, I'm not saying that you stand anywhere in it.
Okay, firstly, in MMA we all get tested. So we all have to submit blood tests before we fight, and we have urine tests as well. So I think the small organisations might have struggle with testing and stuff. It's expensive to do, but you've got to remember PEDs are in every aspect of every sport. I tried to get into the psychological side of why someone would take it. Now, I was, for example, if someone was training for the Olympics and they're training every single day, and the grueling training of it is 8 hours a day, and then your coach comes up to you or someone comes up to you and says, you know what, listen, you're injured, you're getting beat up every day, look, take this, and it'll help you a little bit, kind of thing. You don't have to take it all the time, just take it once or twice.
They give you that edge.
They give you that, yeah.
Not a little edge, what it will do, it'll just make you get through training. Because that's how it probably starts off, just to get through training, because you're feeling the recovery. So then, and I said, what happens is the willingness to succeed overtakes everything. So they just want to get to the Olympics. They just want to fight and compete in 2016 or whenever it is. That it kind of clouds their judgment. And it's very easy. And you've got to remember, most of the guys are competing, they're young. Like they're 20 years old, 18 years old. So when you're telling these guys, I'll take this, I'll help you. And obviously you could be a figure of authority to them as well. So then you trust that person. And a lot of the times you hear guys that say that they got caught taking PEDs because their coach gave it to them. And now they don't realise and stuff. I mean, it's happened. I remember watching Marion Jones give her Olympic gold back. And it's like, cause she, as an athlete, it probably ate her away, man. Like when it came out, she kept it, and after she thought, I can't keep this. Because why she started the sport changed. And then she gave them all back. But does it prove that someone is not a good athlete? Well, in fighting especially, to be honest, you can be as big and strong as you want. If someone's skillful, they'll still bang you up. I trust me, a lot of them come to the gym and they find out quick.
Actually, I watched an interview of Mike Tyson not too long ago, and he was asked a similar question, and he basically said that if you look back in the history of fighting, the strongest fighter wasn't always as successful because it comes down to your skill.
Yeah, skills
comes down to the skill.
Skills pay the bills, always. And then a skillful fighter will always beat up.
Write that down, so
always. But you got to remember to what degree do you want to take cheating to? So like now, say you went to a fight and the guys had 4 coffees and you didn't have no coffee. Now, is he cheating?
Yeah,
but I mean, you know how because caffeine is regarded as a stimulant.
Yeah.
So then it's like, see, people do. I watched a doc, and this guy had valid points. But the guy went to train up on the mountains. He done altitude training. So he was doing altitude training. So he said, does that account as him cheating to another guy? Yeah. So I mean, how you look at it.
I think it also comes down to the level of what these fighters are fighting. I mean, if you look at boxing, for example, and you've got, you know, a £10 million or $20 million fight coming up, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, they're saying are dabbling in it because of the pressure of the situation. You know, it's so big that they need to have that edge.
I'm gonna give you a stat right now. and I'm a gym owner, and I will tell you right now, more people take steroids recreationally than professional athletes. You have the guys who put their arms out of their car. They're the ones. Yeah, they're guys.
We got a couple of them.
And if you're offended, you know it should be better. No, what I'm saying is, being around the gym, and you'll have guys come up. I've had guys come up to me and say to me, "Can you get me some stuff?"
Really?
And it's strange because you think to yourself, why do you want to spend this money for? Why do you want to take this for? And what is the reason? Because I want to look good, and da da da. And there's no other reason but to spend money for no. It's pointless. And then the professional athletes, you can see a reason for them why they get pressure to take it. But if you look at the stats, most people take it recreationally.
It's just for aesthetics.
That's aesthetic. Look at aesthetic. Look.
Sorry.
I was enjoying listening to that.
The thing is, I want to move on from the steroid because it's negative. You know, I want to move on from that.
No, but it has to be touched on because I mean, like the brother says, is it's not needed. You know. Go on, Julian.
Khalid and Julian, nice to meet you. Love to get some questions. First of all, about the bench press.
Yes.
I'm only joking. One question you didn't want, right? No, you said about the philosophy of Bushido, and a lot of these martial arts come from a self-defense kind of philosophy. What is the difference, and you probably work on this with the kids that you're teaching, what is the difference between learning a form of self-defense and fighting for the purposes of sport? Is there a big difference there?
Yeah, I mean, we have a saying in Team LDG, or I always told the guys, we train for giants. And because
I like that. Tommy, you need to use that. Tommy needs to use that for his Sunday.
the reason I say that is, like we said, self-defense, the martial arts side of it is, there are no categories, there's no weight class. So now, if you was walking down the street, if someone picks on you, is he going to be smaller than you or more likely to be bigger than you? More likely probably bigger than you. He wants to intimidate you, take money off you or something, whatever reason. So you always have that mentality where you should be training, and this is what we say about skill. That a smaller guy should be able to defend himself against a bigger guy, and this is the reason. This is why we always say we train for giants. So when people say to me, "Oh, he's 80 kilos, I don't care. 90 kilos, don't care," because the mentality that you have is, I might be smaller than you, but the fight I've got is going to be bigger than you, and the heart I've got, and this is what you try to teach people. You'll hear a lot of people say the guy's got heart, and this is exactly what martial arts is, and this is what you try to teach people. And some people have it, and some people don't. And then the fighters, you'll find that the real fighters, to be a champion, to be one of them guys, they're the ones who have it.
What's that classic saying? It's not the size of the dog, but
The fight and the
fight of the dog.
On that note, is it then in a way more dangerous for a bigger guy who looks like he can fight walking the street? Because anyone who picks on him is presumably going to be ready or going to want to be prepared or have two people or have a weapon. If you're a little guy, you tend to get picked on less sometimes, maybe.
I think me growing up, I'm not the tallest of guys, so I think I was regularly approached by people who wanted to try stuff and try to rob you and all this stuff. But then what happens is when you stand your ground, they kind of back off, and you realise that because they're just using size. This is the whole thing about, they use size and this to intimidate you. But then when you're comfortable with what you can do and what you're about, it shouldn't be a problem to deal with.
Got a text in, just got to read it out. It says, Salam, I am a young brother aged 20 and I run a MMA club, but I would like to know how can I make this a profession out of it, as I love the sport and I would love to set an example to the youth while doing it.
So Michael, firstly, we've run an MMA club. This is exactly what I did. I started off kickboxing. I was teaching in halls. I was teaching in the local community centres. If you want to turn into a professional club, then obviously you need to get your guys fighting on the amateur shows first. and then build up a reputation on an amateur show or amateur circuit where you have enough knowledge and your fighters have enough knowledge. And obviously from there, there are the big organisations like UCMMA, BAMA, Cage Warriors. So there's loads of professional organisations that you can contact and get them to have a look at your fighters. But what happens is, if you fight on reputable organisations, you'll have scouts there that can see your fighters. So the main thing is make sure you're always with organisations, not the shady ones that are opening up in the park and saying that they're MMA organisation. You need to, and this is a good topic to talk about, to be honest. Anyone that's doing martial arts, make sure you guys check out your instructors that are teaching you. Make sure that they have a background in the martial arts that they're claiming that they're teaching. Because what's happened now in mixed martial arts is people are making money from it. Now they do kickboxing, they've gone to 2 jiu-jitsu classes and they've become an MMA martial arts instructor. That's not how it is. The reason that I took so long to fight was because I spent 13 years doing jiu-jitsu and I spent 13 years doing wrestling. So I still don't understand it completely. And there's guys who've been doing this for a long time, 20, 30 years. So this is why you need to spend time developing yourself. So make sure the coaches that you go to are fully accredited. They have some sort of background, kickboxing, wrestling or jiu-jitsu.
How experienced should the coach be? Because you might get certain coaches who've had so X amount of amateur fights or maybe a minimal amount of professional bouts or whatever, and they open up a club. Is that good enough?
Honest answer? No. Because to be honest, and again, if you're looking to become a professional athlete, why would you go to a coach that's never fought in a professional scene?
Yeah.
How is he? I went to this is a long time ago. I fought in a competition, and then there was a guy telling his fighter, "Oh, you got to do this move, and then you got to do this, and do that." And then I said to him, "Have you ever fought?" And he said, "No." I said, "So why are you telling him to do jumping, scissors, flying kicks?" Because that ain't gonna work. So this is the thing, because the danger they don't realise is he ain't gonna fight. The youngster's going to fight, or the guy he's put in the cage or in the competition, he's going to fight. That's why it's important when, like, even the experience of fighting, like if I got a novice coming into the cage, his mouth's going to go dry, his legs are going to start wobbling, and he's going to have this adrenaline dump, and he's going to feel so rubbish. Then I'm going to say, but then if your coach has never experienced that, so how are you going to give him advice about this? He's going to look at you and say, "What's wrong with me? I feel like my legs are going like jelly." Now you're going to say, "Don't worry, you'll be okay."
But in a nutshell, basically what you're saying is that if you do want to set up your own gym, you have to make sure that you have the actual credentials to do it.
Yeah, man, you got to look. To be honest, if you went for a job and then you said to them, "I got a degree," and it's a rich certificate, and you don't show it to them, what are they going to say to you? That you ain't got the certificate is not the knowledge that you've got; it's to prove that you've done something.
Right.
Now, when you get your black belt, so when you get it's not to show that you're a black belt, because why? Because you'll need it for insurance. Because obviously, if you ain't got a black belt and something, how does this person get insurance? So now, this is what I'm talking about. Because when actually the bad stuff happens, then it's like, oh no, like say you
don't see them when the bad stuff they run away.
Yeah, like say you was in a class and someone gets hurt. Now, and your instructor isn't covered for teaching MMA or teaching certain things, or
they're liable, isn't it?
They're liable for this. Now, this is very important now. So, guys, be careful with the clubs that you choose. And there's plenty of instructors out there. And if you're an instructor that wants to get into MMA, go to reputable clubs so you can learn jiu-jitsu and wrestling and stuff. And inshallah, from there you can progress, and then once you're learning and stuff, you can set up.
Okay, I've got. There's a few texts on this phone.
Okay.
Well, I'll go for this one. This one's a bit... he's saying, Salam brothers, please ask Khalid to give his brother salams to Mr. Erdem Gukhan.
Oh, Erdem Gukhan.
School friend, okay, yes. On the show. And is there any projects on his teaching his MMA style in Turkey? Sorry, the English was a bit broken.
Oh, so he's from Turkey? Oh. Because Erdem Gukhan used to go class with me.
Oh, okay.
He's been yeah, mashallah. So welcome Erdem if you're listening.
Okay. Yeah, he's saying, have you got any projects on teaching your MMA style in Turkey?
Inshallah, we've got a few things might be coming up soon. I'm developing a MMA syllabus. So, like I said, we're going to develop a syllabus where it's under my guidance. So, whoever wants to learn kind of thing, we have a teaching system that they can acquire. And what we're doing as well is I usually travel abroad to train in my camps. I might be setting up a holiday training camp abroad, so people can come with me and train like a pro. So we might do like 7 days, and you get to train twice a day, and we do different sessions in an environment where I'm controlling it.
Okay.
I think one of my friends went with you on one of those. Shahid.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So, yeah,
He wasn't a big fan.
But he done well.
Okay. We need to go to this training camp. So
Yeah, these. I mean, to be honest,
I'd like to go see how one works. Don't push me further than that.
The hardest thing with training is, especially when people doing it amateur or just started, they don't understand what they have to do within the camp or training. So we take them and we help them with the nutrition, we help them with the organisational training, what should come first, like if they're doing a S&C session, strength and conditioning, or jiu-jitsu or kickboxing, so we can organise everything for them and they get good guidance and stuff, and then inshallah it's fun for them as well.
The main thing, the main essence, you just hit the nail on the head. It should be, for me, it should be fun first and foremost. You know, not everyone's going to be a champion like yourself, or take it as a profession. Even as a hobby, as a skill of self-discipline. That's what our objective is here. To get these kids that got nothing to do, just stand on street corners. We're looking for an avenue as, mashallah, it's lovely to meet you again. I know I keep saying that, but like someone like yourself to come to Reading and say, look, this is how it should be done. Get your bums off the street and be somebody. This is what me and Bob have been trying to target for the last X amount of years. Because
we've got all trying.
Yeah, well, we're not going to give up trying. I mean, that's because we see it every corner we go to. There's kids. They might be talented, but no one. It comes across as if no one cares about them, and when no one cares for anybody, they don't care for themselves.
Yeah.
So we need this figure. Well, that's my philosophy. We need someone to inspire them. There's brothers that are listening that we had on the shows. Again, I'm touching on Oji there. Who's done his thing on the street and now he's turned mashallah to a pro boxer. Bro, I will promote your fight in a minute once we move on and whatever, but we're still in the middle of this show, so I haven't forgotten you. I know you keep texting and whatever not. But he's done his bit on the street and he's come on the show and given us speed. Mashallah, he's a pro now, so like this up, he's training his butt off, running in the morning, he's got a certain team around him. But we need more people like that, that need that there's an avenue for them, it's not a dead end. They might not be educated, neglected on the streets. We need something for them. Reading, I know I get emotional when I go there, because Reading isn't united. For whatever reasons, we're not function as a unit, and we say we've got brothers here, but there's so many issues in the community of Reading. I don't know why. I mean, you can have your own opinions here. There's no love and unity. You're inspiring love, unity. You're open to anybody, and your focus and your mindset, mashallah, is on helping anybody that needs help. But I don't know what the problem with Reading is. Maybe I'm just going too deep into this. I don't know, because I don't.
Lack of role models,
there is no role model. But why is Reading lacking this? Businesses are inspiring, they're going through the roof here. MashaAllah, every business you're going to see is Asian, Pakistani orientated in Reading. If you go up the road here, go back on the road there, it's all Pakistanis. But where are we? As in a race on a sporting field. Education-wise, I don't know, but I'm just putting it out there.
I think.
I get emotional. I admit it. But it's my passion. It is my passion to bring someone. I'm into football. I want to see a Pakistani footballer. They say to me, I work at 7 in the morning. I go out there. I do it. You're mad. I'm not mad. If one decent thing comes out of Reading and I'm just a little bit responsible, I'm proud. I've done my bit. Barber, he's a boxer. But We all have our own fields, but I don't understand why. But this is what I'm getting. I'm trying to find someone like in a code. I got a question asked to me yesterday. Why is there so many talented footballers Pakistani footballers in the UK, but they fall on the wayside? He was blaming on racism. I don't blame it on racism. I think they don't listen. At a certain age, 16, 17, they know it all, and they find other avenues to go down, and there's a downhill spiral from there.
I think with the youth of today, a lot of people have in general in society now, in all cultures, a lot of I have Moroccan, so when I give talks to the kids and stuff as well, I've done a talk in Tower Hamlets to Bengali community.
Okay.
Not sure, but what I found is the youth of today have like a blame attitude. Like you're supposed to do things for me.
Yeah.
Now, when I was doing kickboxing, when I first started, I just done kickboxing. I didn't expect to make it. I didn't know what would come from it.
Yeah.
But I love doing it, and anything I dedicate myself to, I want to see it all the way through. What I find with a lot of kids now is they get to a point. Someone says to you, "What man? If someone said to me, if someone called me a racial thing, good. You just inspired me to be even better."
Yeah.
Now I look at it differently, because if someone's racist to you, he's the ignorant one. You're not the ignorant one. He's the ignorant one. Now what you got to do is turn that into a positive. So you use that to make yourself better. I'm gonna work harder to show you that I'm gonna be better than you. I'm gonna use this to be better, but not to compete with people. To prove to yourself that you're not gonna give up. Because what happens is in life, it rains on the just and unjust. So it doesn't matter. So what happens? You start saying to yourself, God's being bad to me, and it's not. It doesn't work like that. You just have to keep pushing through, and this is what soldiers are about, and this is what like true warriors are about. You're gonna fall down, but get up and keep getting up and keep getting up and keep getting up. Man, Andy Murray was proof of this when he won the tennis. How many times did he get he's a semi-final specialist, and then what do you do? You end up winning it.
Yeah.
But you end up winning it. But the thing is, now if anyone wants to look for inspiration, man, that guy's there. Look, he never gave up, and he ended up winning it. Now his life achievement. No one's going to say he got into 10 semi-finals. He say he's a Wimbledon champion.
That's right, yeah.
And that's your end goal. Whatever you want to do, don't let people stop you, because the tongue can be sharp, and people will always try to say things that will you done.
So it comes down to your intention, you know.
Yeah.
Intentions should always be sincere.
Yes.
You know, I personally believe that if you do something in life and you know it's fake, whether you're trying to show off or whatever it is, it's going to come back for you. You know, so
it's like the fighting. Now, the way I behave is the way I behave. Like as in my characteristics. I never try to put a front on. I don't have to prove to you that I'm a fighter to make you fearful of me. I'm a fighter, yes or no. And you know what? You'll know I'm a fighter as soon as you step in the cage with me. You'll know I'm a fighter as soon as you start to train with me. You'll know I'm a fighter when there's time to prove that I'm a fighter. But other than that, man, I'm your brother. And we're going to have fun and joke and all this stuff. And I don't have to act the big guy, because and this is what I always look at fighters. As soon as I see guys do that, I know they've got insecurities with themselves. And I see a weakness in you, because you have to behave like that to make me worry about you. And you have to put
your attention.
Yeah, man. When I said to you, when I always look at when the guys have the tattoos on their neck, and then they got the mohawk, and then they come in. I'm an MMA fighter, and I look at them, I think, no, you're not. You just got a funny hairstyle, and you got a bad tattoo. So this is the mentality that I look at it, and I realize, oh wait a minute, you've done this because you want me to see your tattoo on your neck. You want me to be, because you want to portray this image that you're this fighter and everyone should be scared. Man, when that cage door closes, it's only going to be me and you. Trust me, you see people run.
Khalid's loving this. He's loving it.
Well, the brother's got lyrics as well. Like even that, I thought I was an original lyricist, but I'll be put in my place.
We're going to have the brother on for a little bit longer. You know, it's getting late, and he did travel quite far as well, and we want to treat him to a little bit of food as well. If you still want to get involved with the show, you're more than welcome to. If you want to send in your text, the text number is 07909 567 527. If you want to call in, you're more than welcome to. It's 01189. That's 660382. And yeah, we're still on air for another 15 minutes or so.
Well, let's keep going. We've got a few posters we'd like to get the brothers to sign, so if anyone wants one, give us a shout. That's okay, everyone's putting their hands up in here. As long as I get mine, I don't care about you lot. Give the brother a little breather, then let him have a little breather. We're going to go to what made this show possible, mashallah. I mean, I want to give a shout out especially again to Brother Yasser, who's over there. If it wasn't for his promotion and his dedication and him giving me a kick up the backside saying, look, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, I don't think I would be here. But all the artwork and every promotion and everything else is down to Brother Yasser. Don't worry, bro, I know you're always in the background, and I got to keep showing you love and respect for the work you do, because doing this kind of stuff isn't easy, and I'm sure Khalid would be proud of something like that, because if that was me, I'd be proud of it. So, and anything else that goes into it. A lot of people in the background. Thanks, Brother Nasser there as well, Paul Bluefield resident. We have Brother Julian as well. And
Julian's going to show Khalid some magic tricks after the show. He's
going
to have you baffled.
We've got special free live.
We're going to record it and then we're going to post it.
Okay.
So
it's not just still my watching.
And yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll want to keep the brother here as long as we can. We're going to try grabbing some food. So anybody out there that wants to meet him, we'll give you a shout out where we're going to be afterwards. If not, we'll just go home and go to sleep. But this is how we.
If you do come, we need some chicken wings.
This is how we do, yeah. And anybody out there that's listening and wants to feed the brother and wants him to come down to your residence, so then do phone in or text in and give us a shout. Treats on you.
Open session.
Open session. Yeah.
No. The open trading session.
We'll discuss that off air.
Okay. Okay, back to you, Barbara. Carry on.
Yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much covered most of the stuff, you know. I think some of the words that you've given, you know, have really been inspiring. You know, people listening to it, inshallah, will be inspired. I'm inspired. You know, I want to go train right now, go for a run or something. You know, but yeah, alhamdulillah, you know, it's been a real privilege to have you. You know, mashallah, very humble, very down to earth guy. Yeah, I mean, it's an honour. I mean, hopefully, you know, we'll see much more of you.
Inshallah.
You know, everyone's got an eye out for you anyway, so, you know, I'm sure we're going to see that.
Inshallah. We're just, like I said, we're going to release some stuff next week. So keep an eye out.
Regarding what?
Just fighting and stuff and what's been happening regarding the title that I won and what we're trying to do with what we're moving on to next, inshallah. And yeah, I mean, if you just follow me on Khalid Ismail LDG on Facebook or Twitter.
You got your website as well?
Yeah, KhalidIsmail.com.
It's a lot happening. When I clicked on our website, I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
So much information going on.
It's a fan page, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on because we do the training side and so there's a lot of stuff going on. So
who watches over you? Do you have a trainer as such that trains you?
I have trainers in each different things, but I actually put all my mixed martial arts together. I have a guy called Terry Dunstan who's my boxing coach. He's former cruiser British European champion. Mike Tyson's ex-sparring partner.
How many rounds do you spar with Tyson?
How many rounds did he spar with Tyson? He was out there in the States. He used to be his
regular.
Regular.
He's punch bag.
Yeah. He's got a funny story actually. He goes like the first day he went out there, he goes got into the ring. He threw a jab, and he goes and I was pushed out the ring. Like Tyson caught me with an overhand, like boom, knocked him cold out. And he goes, I woke up outside, and he goes, what happened? Your sparring's finished.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, but then Then they used to call him Jab a Minute. They used to like jab and run, jab and run. Oh, okay, yeah. Because Terry's a cruiserweight, so the weight below. But he goes that. Then you saw Mike Tyson in his prime, man.
Yeah.
And he was trained. You know, he trained with, sparred with Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis. So
all the big name pros.
Big name guys, man.
What fighters did you admire growing up?
It has to be, Mike Tyson, man.
Oh yeah, we see all that. Yeah, we see that.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
Who's the greatest? Tyson, Ali.
Every go on. Who would win?
In their prime?
Okay, if it was just a fight.
Yes,
If it was just they're going to go into the ring and fight.
In their peak. Both in prime, yeah.
No, if it was, I say this because Muhammad Ali had other qualities that would make him win this fight, and this.
So he's going for Tyson, isn't he?
He's not.
Tyson would win a fight. If it was a fight, yeah, because Muhammad Ali had a problem with major problem with Joe Frazier. And again, it's to do with styles.
Okay.
But Muhammad Ali, if it was a build-up to a fight, Muhammad Ali would talk Tyson out of the fight before he even got to the fight.
You'll break him mentally.
Yeah, so he wouldn't fight the fight that he wanted to fight. But if it were just, because I remember, do you remember he bit Evander Holyfield's ear? And then Evander Holyfield just run at him, and it became like a bit of a brawl.
Yeah.
Then Evander Holyfield got caught with a couple of shots.
Yeah.
Because he took him out of his normal boxing.
That's right.
Took him zone, yeah.
If you have a brawl with Tyson, because you're in his face, and he's that type of fighter. Again, start fighting, man. You can look. Manny Pacquiao walked into a punch, and then he woke up in the change room.
Okay, that particular fight there. Okay, Marquez versus Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Who did you have winning that fight up until that punch?
Pacquiao.
Me too.
Yeah. Pacquiao.
The thing is, the knockout was so devastating that people just forget about the whole fight.
That's what it is. This is one hit, isn't it?
This is fighting. This is the fight game. So, but people just see the end result. Now, Pacquiao made a mistake, walked into a punch, got knocked out. Again, Marquez has a slight problem for Pacquiao because Pacquiao's a very aggressive fighter. Comes forward, you hit him, he comes forward. Marquez is a counter fighter, walks back, sets you up, and then catches you shots. And again, this is what I said to you: skills pay their bills. Yeah. And so even if you are overly aggressive, this is what happens, and you can make one mistake. And MMA is even worse with mixed martial arts. You're in 4.5 ounce gloves, and there's no room for error. And then you can see you get caught once, the fight's finished. There ain't no like you get a 10 count, 8 count. It's you're on the floor and then eating some lead.
Long-term ambitions for yourself. Where do you see yourself, inshallah, in five years' time?
Interview, for a job. Dana White. Inshallah, we want to. I just want to fight and
just keep fighting
and do as well as I can, and then just see how far I can go.
Okay, say 10 years time. Well, where's the end goal?
Yeah, the end goal is to keep fighting. I go as long as I.
It's in his blood. It's in his blood. You can't.
There was an old Chinese guy. He got interviewed by a martial artist magazine.
Okay.
And they said to him, "Now you've been practicing martial arts for 8 years of your life. Right now, the toll's on your body." And now you've got old, what are you going to do? How do you feel? He said, don't ask me now, ask me when I'm old. And he was 8 years old. He said, I do the same training I do now, but he goes, I'm just smarter with it. And it's the same thing. So like now, the day I wake up in the morning, I don't want to do it no more, that's when I'm going to hang my gloves up. So that could be tomorrow, or it could be in 15 years time, 10 years time, I don't know. So inshallah, we'll just keep going. And go. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the day I lose that motivation to wake up and do it, that's when I'll stop. But
so what motivates you then? What makes you get up in the morning and
I don't know, man. I love what I do. I love the competition aspect. I love trying to be the best. Again, this is another thing.
It's the hunger, isn't it? I think it's that desire, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is what you were talking about, the youth as well. This is another thing I'm big on. I've never ever competed with anyone. The only person I ever want to beat is myself.
Which is wow.
So what happens is when you have that in you, you stop looking at other people. You don't care what he has, what car he drives, what he has. And you're just happy with what you've got, and this is very important. So like now, because I remember a guy training, he was 5'6", and he saw Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he said to me, "I want to look just like that." And I said, "You can't." And he goes to me, "Why?" I go, "Because you're 5'6", he's 6'2" or whatever. I said, "You can't." I said, "Don't look at him. Be the best.
Be yourself.
Be the best physique. Build the best physique that you can build, and then you'll be content with that, man. And then that's all you can do. So
that's the message for all of us. You know, we all have to be the best we can be.
yeah, man. I mean, everyone this is the thing, because I might have a skill in fighting, but you've got a skill in something else, and then you have a skill in something else, and this is what you want to develop and also try to push. Because there's guys in our club. It's the same thing with the way I said about teaching as well. When you have a good teacher, what he'll do, he'll see your attributes as a fighter. Now, I like to fight. I like to rough it up. Now, someone might be a boxer, or someone might like to fight long. So now, as a teacher, you should see that and see the attributes and make that guy fight the way he should fight, according to his characteristics, the way he is. And then that goes for anyone in any aspect of life as well. So when you see someone's ability, like you said, you follow football. So if someone's good as a defender, you're not going to make him push his striker and say, no man, he's a good defender. Let's build his strength up, holding the ball and defensively. And a good coach will see that early and then develop it that way. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've pretty much covered everything I want to say. You know, I don't want to kill it all. I want the brother to come back again. So I don't want to take everything away. You know. So I'm pretty much happy to wrap up the show. Sorry.
Well, I'd rather leave the last word to the brother. He's travelled down. I could sit here and listen to him all day, to be honest. I mean, very, very, very inspiring. MashaAllah, absolutely brilliant. You know, I keep saying this, I thought I was good with words, but I just been put in place.
How many members do you have for your gyms in total? Well, you don't have to tell us because of the tax man, maybe.
Yeah, quite good. Alhamdulillah, we've got it's a 15,000 square foot gym. So
wow.
We have like a fight zone. We have the concept of the gym that I opened was to have everything underneath one roof. So I used to train at 3-4 different gyms when I was younger.
Okay.
So I had everything underneath one roof. So you have the best boxing, kickboxing, everything. If you want to bodybuild, it's there. If you want to do fitness, it's there.
So you got all-purpose gym.
So all-purpose gym,
and it's open to beginners, elite athletes,
and the best thing is. The beginners get to mix with elite athletes. So if you do a class, you've got some elite athletes in there. So you have world champions training with you.
Right.
And more inspiration that you need.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, I just got back from Morocco and I was training out in Morocco, and the gyms weren't as good a standard as UK. But there was times when I couldn't get to the gym. I was training on top of the roof. Mm-hmm. With a skipping rope. I found some pipes and I was working that. And this is another thing, so you don't have to have the best equipment as well. You can make do with anything. Again, you just need that desire, that willingness to push yourself and to succeed in what you're doing, inshallah.
As you're an expert in the fitness field, you know that a lot of the exercises that they're using now, you know, they've moved away from the bars and now they're becoming more functional.
Yeah.
And the equipment is becoming more and more simple.
Yeah.
But the techniques are becoming more advanced. It's
Yeah.
more difficult to do. So, like you said, you don't need to have all the fancy equipment either.
And one thing about training is the more fancy they make it, you need to go. You always need to look back to the basics.
That's right.
There's guys who've been doing training for a long time, and the basics have always worked. Lifting, picking, pushing, pulling. They're your functional movements, rotational stuff, and that's it. That's all you need to do in your training. If you're boxing or kickboxing or whatever, mixed martial arts, you need to do your runs, you need to do your sprint work, you need to do your hill work, and basically it is just hard work, and then you put yourself through it, and always go more than what your opponent does.
Definitely.
Still got texts coming in, so I mean we're going to wrap up in a few minutes until everyone take the brother out, get a feed for his effort and appreciate his time. Obviously a busy man, got things to do. Text from brother Aji. Assalamu alaikum Aji, how are you? Aji is our represented Reading in the boxing field, just turned pro. We keep talking about him, want to keep promoting him, inshallah. So this is a shout out to everyone in Reading listening. Please support the brother. He's fighting on the 16th of November, Bethnal Green. If you want tickets, sorry Aji, I don't have the number, I'll get it in a second, give me a minute. The number if you want tickets for his fight is 07933 189 648. I repeat that. That's for tickets for Aji's fight on the 16th of November, which is a Saturday. It's 07933 189 648. He also is the general for whatever reasons he
Well, I don't
explained.
know, is Aggie going to give us some free tickets for this promotion?
I think that's Paul. You can speak
Paul
to
needs to mind some free tickets for that.
And he's also saying if anybody wants to read his interview, he's done an interview with Reading Chronicle, inshallah, be out tomorrow. So Ajie's interview with Reading Chronicle, if you want to read, out tomorrow. If anybody wants a signed, what do you call these?
Flyer. We've got pictures, and we've got pictures.
Just give it off. From the brother here, we're going to go somewhere and get these signed. So exclusive photo signed by the brother Khalid himself. So there's a good few here. So I don't know how Yasser, our producer,
we will figure out a way to distribute them, inshallah.
Okay. Well, we're here inshallah for next week and whatever not. So we're going to wrap up. We've got other things lined up for the brother as well. We've taken up enough of his time. Again, I will thank Brother Khalid for coming down, giving up his time. And inshallah, in future, we'll have him. We'll pop down and see the training.
We want to come to your gym, definitely.
Inshallah, you're welcome. Inshallah, thanks for having me.
No problem, anytime. Okay then, so this is the Late Show. We're going to wrap it up now. Please tune in every Wednesdays from 9:30, inshallah. This was our third show of this year.
This third
back.
show back.
You know, we revamped the show. You know, we've got a marketing expert who's been helping us a lot. So, you know, all the nice fancy designs you've been seeing is from Yasser Ali. Support the show. This is a community show. We're here to represent the people. We want to say the things that, you know, concern you and talk about the things that concern you. So, keep supporting. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.